The Beekeeper is a 2024 action thriller directed by David Ayer and starring Jason Statham in one of his most intense and emotionally driven roles to date. At first glance, it looks like another high-octane Statham film filled with explosions, gunfire, and close combat sequences. But beneath the surface, it's a story about loss, corruption, and a man who takes justice into his own hands. The movie starts quietly, like the calm before a violent storm, introducing us to Adam Clay, played by Jason Statham, a man living in isolation, tending to his beehives in a rural countryside. Clay lives a disciplined, solitary life, his days structured around the simple act of caring for bees, creatures that thrive on order, loyalty, and protection of their queen. But this tranquility hides something deeper. A peaceful life shattered. The film opens with beautiful wide shots of the countryside, golden sunlight reflecting on the beehives as orchestral music hums softly in the background. Adam Clay appears like an everyman, quiet, polite, and reserved. His neighbor and friend, Eloise Parker, played by Felicia Rashad, is a kind-hearted retired teacher who rents him a small barn and often brings him tea. Their friendship is genuine, the kind that gives Clay a reason to stay grounded. But this peace doesn't last. One day, Eloise becomes a victim of an online scam that wipes out her entire savings, money meant for a children's charity foundation she runs. The stress and humiliation push her over the edge, and she tragically takes her own life. Clay, discovering her lifeless body, is consumed by grief. His silence turns to rage, not wild anger, but the cold, calculated fury of a man with a buried past. As he goes through her belongings, he discovers the scam's origins, a predatory cybercrime organization posing as a legitimate tech support company. It's a powerful network exploiting innocent people with protection from corrupt political and corporate elites. At this point, the movie begins to shift gears. The warm colors fade into metallic tones, the score grows darker, and Clay's demeanor hardens. When two agents come to question him about Eloise's death, his controlled answers hint at something hidden, something dangerous. A quiet montage shows him retrieving an old lockbox buried beneath the floorboards of his cabin. Inside are military dog tags, coded IDs, and a weapon. For the first time, we see a tattoo on his arm, the symbol of a bee with a crown. This is where the mystery unfolds. Clay isn't just a beekeeper. He's part of a covert government organization known only as the Beekeepers, a secretive network of highly trained operatives dedicated to maintaining societal order, like bees protecting the hive. When corruption spreads, they eliminate it. Jason Statham's transformation in this scene is brilliant, a shift from quiet rural man to a relentless force of vengeance. There's no shouting, no dramatic music, only focus. He burns the remnants of his old life and sets out to uncover those responsible. The hunt begins. Clay tracks down the scammers responsible for Eloise's death. The film takes us to a modern office building in Boston, disguised as a tech company but actually a front for massive cybercrime operations. Using social engineering and ruthless efficiency, he infiltrates the building. What follows is one of the most thrilling action sequences in the film. Statham, in typical fashion, uses improvised weapons and hand-to-hand combat to dismantle the heavily guarded operation. The choreography is precise, every punch, every move symbolic of a man purging evil from the hive. He takes down dozens of guards with surgical precision. When he finally reaches the operation's manager, a cowardly young executive, Clay delivers one of the coldest lines of the film. "You've been stealing from the hive. Now it's time you get stung." He torches the entire facility, erasing all data and walking out as flames engulf the office. This scene reaffirms what makes The Beekeeper stand out from other action films: its symbolism. The bees represent order, unity, and justice, while corruption and greed are portrayed as diseases threatening the hive. Unmasking the corruption. After the attack, the media brands Clay a domestic terrorist. The FBI gets involved, led by Agent Verona Parker, Eloise's mother, who is shocked to discover that the man responsible for the massacre is the same man her mother called a good neighbor. As Verona investigates, she starts to uncover who Adam Clay really is. Classified records reveal his past as a beekeeper, a government operative whose existence is denied by every official record. She realizes that the man she's hunting might not be the villain. He's the one cleaning up a system too corrupt to police itself. Meanwhile, Clay moves higher up the chain, uncovering how deep the scam operation goes. It's not just low-level criminals, it's connected to one of the most powerful families in America, led by Derek Danforth, the arrogant son of a former U.S. president. Danforth runs the scam empire behind layers of security, using his political influence to protect his crimes. His mother, played by Gemma Redgrave, is the former president, a cold and manipulative woman who values image over morality. This setup raises the stakes. Clay isn't just avenging Eloise, he's taking on the elite who exploit the powerless. Bees and justice, the symbolic core. Throughout the first half of the movie, the metaphor of the beehive drives the narrative. Clay's philosophy is simple. Every hive must be protected, and those who poison it must be removed. His actions are brutal, but purposeful. The script cleverly parallels bee behavior with Clay's mission. Bees protect their queen, Clay protects the memory of Eloise, the one pure soul he knew. Bees eliminate parasites. Clay targets the corrupt. Bees communicate silently through movement. Clay's actions speak louder than words. David Ayer's direction gives the film a moral weight rarely seen in typical revenge thrillers. Statham's performance is restrained, yet emotionally powerful. His grief gives the violence meaning. The rising body count and the war declaration. As Clay continues his crusade, the FBI's hunt intensifies. Verona finally tracks him down in a tense encounter at a rural gas station. Instead of attacking her, Clay tells her, "Your mother deserved better. They killed her long before she died." This moment of shared pain adds emotional depth to the movie, turning Verona's role from hunter to reluctant ally. Meanwhile, Derek Danforth, realizing who's coming after him, mobilizes his private army. He mocks the situation publicly, calling Clay a delusional old hitman clinging to fairy tales about bees. But behind the arrogance lies fear, because he knows what beekeepers are capable of. The first part of the film ends with an electrifying sequence. Clay infiltrates a heavily guarded mansion where one of Danforth's top partners hides. The action is relentless. Explosions, knife fights, and one of Statham's best choreographed battles in years. As the partner gasps his final breath, Clay leans close and says, "The hive remembers every sting." He walks out, his body bloodied but unbroken, as the mansion burns behind him, and the camera zooms in on his bee emblem as the screen fades to black. End of Part 1 summary. Part 1 of The Beekeeper sets up a deeply emotional and symbolically rich revenge story. Adam Clay transforms from a humble beekeeper to a mythical avenger, guided by a moral code older than the law itself. The themes of justice, corruption, and moral duty are woven tightly into the story. The mix of realistic violence and mythic symbolism makes The Beekeeper one of Statham's most mature performances, balancing raw action with philosophical undertones. After the fiery destruction that ended the first half of The Beekeeper, Adam Clay's war against corruption takes on a new scale. The quiet beekeeper has become a national threat, but also, in the eyes of many, a mysterious hero. The media brands him a vigilante. The government calls him a terrorist. And ordinary people, watching his crusade unfold on their screens, whisper about the beekeeper as if he were a myth. But for Clay, there's no glory in what he's doing. There's only purpose. He's not fighting for recognition. He's fighting to cleanse the hive.